Who's the daddy?
Easy guys, Dom here from Cringy Dad Gaming. So this is part 2 of my Isle of Demons walkthrough from the game Nioh. If you've not watched part 1 yet, then there's a link on the screen now. So from the shrine we want to go through these crates on the right hand side. You notice there's a dweller here and he's ready to ambush you if you'd have gone around the other side, but we're going to sneak up behind him, pay him his own dirty little game. We could walk forward here, but again there's a yokai there. Notice the little fog in the section there, so we want to try and avoid that for now so we're not being jumped upon by him. Go round to the left here and there's another dweller around this section. You want to take him out first. This now gives us room to manoeuvre when we fight this without other enemies getting involved. I used my living weapon on this guy because this guy's a little bit quicker than some of the other yokais. He's got twin samurai swords, so using the living weapon makes light work of him. While we've got this active then, we might as well use some of this for some of the other enemies around the left hand side here. There is an archer up on the roof there, but what we can do is take this samurai out first down below. If you'd not used your living weapon, then I would have recommended taking out the guy on the roof first, maybe using your bow. So just round past the ladder here on the left hand side there's another enemy around the back here. There's a few things you can pick up off the floor. Now you might remember this guy here if you've watched the first part of my walkthrough. This is the guy at the very end of the first part of the walkthrough that we shot with the bow just before saving the game at the end of the video. Obviously he's respawned in because we've saved. So make sure you search around the back of these buildings. You will find a few things that you can collect here and pick up, which will come in handy. So we're going to go back through to where we were. I just want to show you something real quick. A lot of this map is actually blocked off by fire, which makes it almost like a maze trying to work your way through. What we want to do is go back to this well here and go up the ladder, taking us onto the roof. Now a lot of the part of this map that we want to get through to will be across rooftops. One thing you can do here at this section is there's a couple of enemies on the adjacent roof across here. So to make things a little bit easier for us later on, we want to get a headshot on one of them to take one out. The other guy's going to run across to us. Now the great thing about this area is you do pick up plenty of arrows, so you're definitely going to have enough. Notice here as well on the roof though, there's a little section of the roof that looks broken. Now they can fall through if you run over the top of them. Often there will be enemies down below that will ambush you, so really do be aware when you're going across these roofs that you're looking for areas on the roof that look like they're broken. Notice on the left hand side there is a ladder on the other side with the lantern. We're going to want to kick that down a little bit later on. Now this building here that I'm on top of now, there is an enemy inside there. I'm just going to edit it out for quickness. Go round to the right hand side though here and there's another enemy. Just want to take him out. If you run round to the left here and there's some crates here, there is another yokai here. Again, once you've killed this guy, there is actually a room on the right hand side here that does have a chest in it. It's going to have some goodies in there. There is a guy in armour in here with an axe, so be careful of him because that's quite a heavy weapon. The thing about these heavy weapons though is they're quite slow and quite easy to dodge. So collect your goodies and we'll move on. So again, like I said in the first video, don't forget to break crates. There's a lot of crates in this that you can break and sometimes there are items hidden or gold hidden amongst them. Just be careful in this room here, there is a dweller hiding in the corner. So as we move through this area, you notice on the right hand side there's a lot of these crates piled up next to this big burner, and just here is a tower. Now we need to climb that in a minute to be able to get to the next set of roofs, but we can take out this dweller who's on the floor here. If you actually set your low stance with your blade, you can actually go up behind these and do like a stealth attack on them, which does a lot more damage. There is a room just near this tower as well that has a door. This will lead you to a little section down the back where you'll find some items. There is another 2 dwellers down there, but I'm just going to edit that out again for speed. So climb up this tower here, jump down onto the roof. Again, on some of these roofs there are some collectibles. Notice that we're near the ship now. That's the area we're going towards. There is an orb on the right hand side there, which is obviously indicating a collectible. We're just going to turn left here now, and running across here you see these items. This is where we killed that archer earlier on. So now we can run across here, and this is where the lantern is, where the ladder is that we need to kick down that I mentioned a moment ago. This will speed things up if you need to go back through this section later on. If you ever obviously get to the end of this level, you can run back through it. It just makes it a bit quicker. Notice that fog there. There's another yokai. This guy is quite difficult because of the location, and we can avoid him just by dropping down onto the roof there and then off the side. Changing to the low stance because we've got another dweller down here. It just seems to take them out a little bit quicker, and they don't really have much time to react. Right, we want to go through the right here, through these crates. At the top here is not only something to pick up, but there's also a ladder hidden behind the crates in the corner. If we go up here, this will actually lead us to a giant bucket of water. If you knock that down, that will actually extinguish some of that fire, which now means that potentially you could go back around there and go and save the game at this point if you wanted to. It just makes it easier later on as well to be able to avoid bit. So here we go. Notice how I fell through the roof here, and there's actually a dweller in here. He's now just jumped on me and he's just poisoned me. So I wanted to show you this just to help you guys with it. If you get poisoned, make sure in this level, just in case that happens, you've got some antidote to hand to be able to reduce the effects. But again, just shows you what can happen. But falling through this roof obviously is now led us into a room where there's another chest which is going to have some goodies in it. Obviously at that point though, if you'd have died after doing all that and you had to start again, that would have been a little bit annoying. So again, another section that's blocked off by fire, so we're going to have to find another way around. We can actually get through a building that's just around the side here. A good indication that you're going in the right direction is the Revenant graves, which are these red swords sticking out of a bloody grave. It gives you a good idea that you're heading in the right direction. And there's another dweller in here. There's a few corners around here with a few items in it. I'm not going to edit this bit out, I'm just going to leave this bit here to play because there's a few enemies and a few different bits in this area, so it'll just make it a little bit more easier for you to follow without me editing sections out. Don't forget to cut the rope on the well to release the bucket. It will actually bring some items up sometimes, or maybe some spirit for you. So around the back of this building is another armoured enemy. He's quite heavy and it's quite close quarters there, so just be aware of this guy. But again, another item to pick up, which is all good to try and get your stocks up ready for later on. And notice just through here there's actually some enemies. Now there's quite a few around here, and we can kind of pick them off one by one. Because we've picked up plenty of arrows through here, we really can start utilising the bow. There's one guy up on this little bridge on this roof here. There's another guy on the bridge between the two towers. Now sometimes, depending on your range, you can actually kill him with one hit if you get a headshot, but you know, for this video here it took a couple of shots for me to actually kill him. We've got another guy here that we're going to take out, but that will leave then two more enemies just around here. Now they're going to charge at me now. Just back off to give yourself a little bit of space. So if you'd have charged around there before taking out those few guys with the bow, that would have been a lot more difficult. You would have been, you know, outnumbered to a certain extent. Just around the right hand side here though is another enemy with an axe, so just be careful of him. And obviously these axes may be powerful if they hit you, but they are quite slow and take an awful lot of ki up for these guys to swing it at you. So not essential, but what you can do now is you can actually climb up onto the tower, and you can actually go across to the other tower, and across the other side there is a ladder that you can kick down. Again, it can be used as a shortcut later on if you come through this area. Notice on the roof down there is a glowing yellow orb, and that's obviously another collectible. So what you can do as well is you can drop down onto that roof here to be able to go and get your collectible. So it's pretty much a matter of just jumping down now and just going back through that area where those guys were a second ago. Obviously there's more crates to be broken, but we'll edit that out. Now once you run out and you're onto the beach, this is pretty much the last section of this area now. You can run up to the left here, and there is actually a few items that you can pick up in a cave at the top here. Just gonna edit that out and just show you me running back onto the beach. So a few enemies here. First thing we want to do is take this guy out here. The reason why we're taking this guy out here is because he's an archer and he can become a pain in the butt. There's only like a couple more enemies on the beach here, and once we've taken them out, we can run over and collect the bits that the archers drop. Notice there's another enemy walking down, and another one down next to that house as well that we just pointed the bow at. So once we've taken those two guys out, we can literally run up that area on the left hand side. This now leads us to the door that was at the beginning of the video that was locked, and now we can save. Remember, saving though will reset it. But just down on that beach was a locked door in one of those houses. Now inside there is a chest, but there is a yokai in there. So you can jump down onto the roof here and jump inside. Because it's such a small space and there's not much room to move, I would suggest maybe using your living weapon to take this guy out so it's nice and quick. So that's pretty much it really, guys. You know, I mean, obviously there's a few items that you can find around the back of these buildings and in this area in general if you explore, but that's pretty much how to make it to the pirate ship. This is where you're going to come across the second boss in the game on Ryoki. If you'd like a guide on how to defeat him, then I have got a link in the video now. Please make sure you give me a thumbs up and like the video if you found this video helpful. Also, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to help it grow. It really is appreciated. And also follow me on Twitter @CringyDad for all the gaming updates. Thanks for watching.
Who's the daddy?